To have discipline means you know yourself enough to know if I go more this way, it's starting to drain me. So I need to keep the balance, right? In the past, you might have struggled to have a balance, which means you burnt yourself out. When you burn out, you start to believe all sorts of stuff because you're unsure about yourself. Then you listen to people. And if someone goes, oh, you've got bipolar, you're a schizophrenic, you're a blah, 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 whatever, you start to doubt yourself. That is the problem. Because no one knows you.
It creates that reality. Doesn't it actually rewire the DNA the more someone thinks that they are of a certain mental state? Doesn't it actually rewire the DNA?
But remember what I said to you, a demon is a frequency. So when you come out of your natural frequency, you have a demon. Your frequency is then you're in prison. You see what I'm saying?
Can I ask you something?
Your frequency drop. So if your frequency, say your natural frequency is 10, I don't know what the numbers are, but say 10. And now you start doubting yourself, you're breaking down, and you go to a 5, something is pushing you down.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? That is a demon. That is programming of some sort that is dropping your frequency because you aren't sure about your own frequency.
I have a quick question for you about DNA. We were talking about the appendix and how I can use my imagination to visualize it doing its job still, right? I know the power of my own mind because in the past I've used thoughts just alone to unlock my root or my sacral, or what, just by thinking it once or twice, I felt it crack open when I was on full extract cannabis oil. Now, the DNA guy that I was telling you about, I have his email, and I have a good feeling that eventually we're going to be working together. And so he sold the DNA company. He had health issues, and he started a project based on what he wanted other people to have access to, similar to how I built mine, right? So what he said was that the government, so it takes about a month, it shouldn't take that long. It takes about a month for them to take the test and then send it to the consumer. And what he said is the government limits the amount of information that they're able to release, which tells me not only the how long it takes to process it all, that the government knows way more about what our DNA is capable of. So now I'm wondering if I can unblock my root with my thoughts, what else can I do with my mind to command my own DNA? Because if at my full power, I know people can command energy into, there's even an 8th chakra that sits above the crown. It's the unknown, or the forgotten chakra. It's above the crown, but it can command energy into the body and literally repair itself. So what else?
But that is source. That is source.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you tap in with source, anything is possible. Anything. We are limiting ourselves by believing that we can't do something because they program us to think we can't.
Which is why they
programmed us. Why is it that some people can be fit and healthy at 80 and others are crippled? Why is that? It's because their mind is weak. I've seen it with my own eyes. People that decide at 50, you know what? I'm going to become a bodybuilder. Look up Chef Babette. She was ill. She was unwell. In her 50s, she thought, screw this. I'm going to make myself strong. She's over 80 now, and she's a bodybuilder. How did she do that? And then you look at another 80-year-old that's completely crippled. They can't even, or you look at a 60-year-old and they're crippled. Why? Why is that? Because it's mind. That's saying mind over matter is an absolute fact. But people don't think about that hard enough. Because if you can sit with your mind, the problem is people are not disciplined. They cannot focus and channel their mind, and they are not disciplined to do that. That is the problem.
I've taken the time to just sit in silence because that rewires the frontal cortex. That's the whole purpose of meditation.
To get to that realization.
Yeah.
Do you follow? Then I've got the
Yeah.
mystical shaman. What's a shaman? What does a shaman do?
Oh, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because I was with a friend, Vicky. I can't wait for you to meet her, but she was asking about shamans. She's like, well, which shaman, who's the shaman of Guelph? And I kind of laughed because I've been training to be a shaman. I feel like all the life experience that I've gone through, I don't know how I couldn't be.
Yeah.
And that's why like you laughed when I said the monk comment. I think you were a monk in a past life because you're too disciplined. You don't fit in with the rest of the homeless people. You're too clean. They
But what
think
type
that
of monk?
Pardon?
What type of monk? There's two types.
I don't know.
A Shaolin monk or a Catholic monk? They're different, aren't they?
Very much.
So
Yes.
ask her, when she says that, what monk does she see? Because you're absolutely not a Catholic monk. You may be a Shaolin monk. Yes, I can